Everybody's Wolfpack. Gonna put out another video. I've been looking at Intel coming in today. I'm sorry guys, man, I gotta laugh, man. So many people are hilarious, man. I just can't understand and fathom really how uninformed or how silly it looks to an outside individual. Maybe I shouldn't look at it that way, but let's explain something real quick, okay? Work with me here, will you? We're talking about the deep state. Now, within the deep state, there are individuals called deep state operators. No, that's not their official name, rocket science. These individuals have been born and trained all their life to work for the deep state. They are not allied to any country. They are not allied to any person or persons. They do not know who their father or mother is. They do not know if they have kids, because they are allowed to have sex, believe it or not. Why do we know that? Well, because the fact is that we got more deep state operators, and they got to come from somewhere. Now, I have put out to you guys and said that you have been chasing rainbows and rabbit's tails based on this information the Q has provided. When I look today at the news that's being dropped, there are more breadcrumbs there than he's reporting on. How much longer can you answer a question with a question without getting to the point? This is the oldest tactic in the book, and we fell for it. There's a little saying that used to be said, and that's I'll tell you how old I am, but anyway, it came out, and it's so true. They actually admitted it, that people knew that in Hollywood, but anyway, it's called dance a little sidestep. Ooh, I like to dance a little sidestep. Now they see me, now I'm gone. Cut a little swat and turn the people on. In other words, that's just another way of saying you're falling for horseshit. Because what's happening is, with all these questions that you're going today, you're up to the Rothschilds. Okay? We're up to the Soroses, and we've known this for 2 years. We don't have to have it repeated back to us, and we damn sure don't. Where were you guys 2 years ago when this was being reported? Now you're making this awesome discovery because this Q guy has just been rehashing information that we already know. The individuals who reported on this are a long time ago, 2-3 years ago, Dabu 7. Other individuals are long gone. Why? Because they realized that the government was having them chase rabbits. The individual who has Q clearance, who's dropping this information, has not dropped anything that is even classified or nearly close to being classified as top secret. This information that Q's provided you can get anywhere at any time by doing a Freedom of Information Act to any government agency that you want. But just because we can actually read it on the computer, well, it's got to be freaking right. Well, you know what? Hey, it caused mass hysteria to get your eye off of the prize. We have indictments coming out that I've mentioned before in my other on my other post or video, and we still don't know who we indicted. This is your government, okay? Indicting people. You don't know who they're indicting. And they're asking you to take their word for it. You have CEOs who are allowed to get away with crimes and treason and allow them to disappear or resign or go back to their honey island, wherever it is, and lay low for a while. You done made your billions. Hey, you know what? You can only make There's so many billions and you got to go. Deep operators work in 4-man teams. The first person in that team, and it's in a triangle. I'm sorry, in a diamond. 4-man teams. First person in charge, he's in charge of safety and security. In other words, he's on point. Last person, he's involved in intelligence, because the fact is he's collecting all the intelligence they go over and making sure he's got it in his brain housing group. The one on the right is the breaching person. He is the individual who is in charge of analyzing the situation, the one that needs to be breached, and how he can do it with the least amount of distraction or without being caught. The one on the left is going to be your medic. He's going to be in charge of actually putting you in a state where you won't bleed out. Deep state operators, before they go into a mission, they actually put IVs in the needle and they tape it to their arm. Have you ever seen people like that, where they're running around with tape on their arm? I wonder what that's for. You people have no clue. The set of deviation is so large with the deep state right now, you are falling for it, because the fact is that you're chasing the rabbits. It doesn't mean anything. Who gives a rat's ass about a Rothschild, because he's never going to go to jail? Who cares about Soros? Because that sumbitch ain't never going to go to jail. How do you think they got to positions that they're in today without creating a multitude of layers around them, the people that will fall on the sword before they go down? We have just been advised today of Wiener's freaking laptop. How long did that take? Maybe we should have known about that information. They should have tapped into that information before we did the Hillary investigation, or at least acknowledged that it existed. But conveniently, no, this was found after we have exonerated Hillary Clinton. And if you think Magda Ebden is something going to jail, however you say her name, you think something's going to happen to her? Hell no. Those Saudi Arabian ties will pull her ass out of there before you say go. Executed by dark state operators. The only individuals that will be caught is the ones that are too stupid to realize that they're actually in a bind and not do nothing about it. Everybody else who knows that they're freaking in a hot seat right now are going to be leaving the country. They're already trying it. But we're concentrating on the freaking Rothschilds. So let's look at it in the big picture. There are no coincidences. I gathered that. I'll say he's right on that. Well, why aren't we actually pursuing that? Please tell me that you do not understand, or that you may or may not understand. The fact is that Mandalay Bay, LAX, and freaking Atlanta, please tell me that you think that there's not coincidences, because they're not. They're part of a mass exodus of people to get out of the freaking country. Remember Campos? He got out, went to Mexico. Where's that son of a bitch now? We don't know. He's in, and he is one of the shooters. Damned if he didn't get caught. Why is he one of the shooters? Because the son of a bitch chickened out and was running down the stairwell trying to get out before he completed his mission. It's amazing how many crusaders that Islam have, and some of them change their freaking mind. And that's exactly what happened. Atlanta was just a disguise because, come on, guys, man, get on the subject. Please tell me you're not worried about the freaking Rothschilds when a major airport, the most major airport in the United States, went dark and didn't have no generators. And one flight was allowed out. My God, please tell me that you're getting this. This is a classic. The last effort by the Democratic and the Liberal parties is to distract you away from those that are of importance that can piece this shit together, and Q is actually providing the information, leading you on a path instead of where you should be concentrating. We found out today that the Russians are giving oil to the North Koreans, and we're still dealing with that shit. Our government is unwilling to pursue individuals who've created crimes and misdemeanors and treason against this country. They will not move on, act upon it. They play the motion by going ahead and saying, we've got indictments. It's time to show your freaking cards. If you're not ready, you should have never been able to issue the indictments. Surely, please tell me that you've got a judge to actually sign off on the indictment. I can't tell you how many search warrants I've got out of it. They come back and they say, well, I'm going to search your truck. No, you're not. Well, I've got a search warrant here. That's not signed by a judge, dumbass. Go back and get one that is. But see, we were falling for the main diversion, because the fact is we do not know our constitutional laws. We do not know what the government can and cannot do, where we have our rights to where we are required, and we are actually, it's part of our duty as a citizen to remain vigilant and actually question our government. Instead, we involve on questioning a guy named Q, who says he has Q clearances, divulge no secret information from confidential to top secret. If Q had a Q clearance, he would know all about Atlanta. He would have access to that paperwork. If he did have high clearance, wouldn't he be giving us crumbs about frickin' Mandalay Bay? Do you see where I'm going with this, people? The obvious that's right in front of your brain housing group has been diverted. I can picture in a room somewhere in a basement, about 6 floors under, where there's a group of black ops, dark state teams that are trained to disseminate this information via the computer. They have a point system to where they can actually look at your, using an algorithm, they can actually look at how and what your video is all about before you even post it. Please tell me you haven't noticed. Based on your current video, they can actually determine what you're getting ready to say and what you're going to say, because the fact that they've done their research. And they know which trail you're following. What better trail for you to follow than one that they're leading you on? So let's see how this gets real simple, real freaking quick. As we go by with Q, and we go back, because he mentions that our history is important in his analysis. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit. And let's do some serious thinking about this. What in history reminds you of what's going on today? There is a term that is being utilized over the internet today that's called revolution. Most of the millennials and dumbasses think, oh, the American Revolution, well, that was fun. They can't even tell you who fought the damn battle. But they can tell you the last damn score they scored on frickin' Dungeons and Dragons or some shit. In a world where they get 3 lives. This mirrors exactly the French Revolution of the elite being called by the people. The people rose up and said, we've had enough, and they created one little thing, and it goes from now on, it's called the guillotine. And they used it. The reason why the conspiracies, the reason why the corruption, the reason why France came out of that delusion was by utilizing the guillotine and using it on the elite who had committed these crimes and treason against their country. And their crimes were a lot less than what we have here, right in front of us. Nazi Germany, there was only a small percentage of individuals who actually wanted to be a Nazi. But after the Night of the Long Knives, guess what? Everybody said, we're going to become a Nazi or we're not going to live very long. In other words, it was propaganda. It was leading individuals down a path and just kept asking questions based on the motto, if we keep telling a lie long enough, people will believe it. Please tell me you see the scenario here in America where that's happening. Where in the world can you possibly imagine when you were growing up as a kid if there was a shooting, a massacre of 58 people? For you smartasses, I know it's 59, but I don't count the sumbitch who did shoot. Please tell me that you can look around and see all these things that are happening and tell me that they're not related. And please tell me that you care more about your country and what's happening to your country than you do about the frickin' Rothschilds in frickin' England. They'll get theirs. But we got to stop playing pin and tail on a frickin' donkey. And frickin' whack-a-mole. As I have stated, there have individuals who have stopped posting as much or their views have gone down because the fact is the deeper operators are exposing them. And they're actually saying, they're the trolls that are coming into your room and saying, what the fuck is going on? And putting you down and you get butthurt. Acting like you didn't expect it. Expect the worst. If you're telling the truth and you're onto something, guess what? You'll have more trolls that answer you than anybody else. And look at your views, because on a good video, when you actually mention something nobody wants to freaking really hear, people don't really want to listen. Or they're not allowed to listen, even though your numbers say, well, somebody's listening. Well, you know what? David Seaman got almost 2 million freaking subscribers one time. And that son of a bitch is back. Tell me you don't get that. The price of Bitcoin comes down, here comes the puppet. David Seaman to start pumping Bitcoin again. It is laid out for you, for people to think. I understand that everybody's head goes in different directions. I understand the capability of some and some, or think quicker than others, but it's just common sense. If you take a step back and you look at the big page of current events listed, I do. I list it. I make sense of what's happening and how it reflects others. I ask the question, why? How? How come? Who are they? Let me talk to they. Who said so? Show me in writing. If you're going to do investigative work, don't do it half-assed. Because you will lead someone astray because the fact is you didn't do your homework. Post your findings every day that you've gotten and the research that you've come up with and throw it out there and see what everybody else thinks. Not because you want to post it because it's going to be popular. But you're actually solving a problem, or you have an answer, or you have an idea. An idea is formed by one person, but everybody catches along. Pretty soon everybody starts going along with it because the fact is everybody figures it out. It's true by association. It's called information and confirming information. It is a joke. And there are people in the deep state And they're operators that are laughing their ass off right now. Because you're allowing them to get away with anything. They can pump up any story they want to, and they can post it wherever they want to post it. They can make sure that they'll get followers to listen to put somebody on the wrong track, and all they need is one. Especially on YouTube, because if you get one, the rest will follow. Because we don't question anymore. We just assume people know what they're talking about without any documentation, without any approval. Indictments, okay, great. There's so many out there. Show me. Show me where then they were found. Show me actually who's been served that document. If they're indicted, when do they need to appear? Check the year. Is it any time in our near freaking future? You can serve an indictment within the statute of limitations, but they don't have to go to jail for it. They don't have to go to trial for another year. And that's if you provided habeas corpus and if he's actually written for a speedy trial. But it's all up to the justices. So for those of you who ask, is the calm before the storm? Is this the storm now? Is it hitting? If you do not recognize that the storm's here right now and look at what's actually going on, what's really going on around you, you need to take some time, get off the computer, and start educating yourself on what it takes to be a knowledgeable person who can operate in the real world. Yes, that's you. There are other things besides YouTube, and there's other things besides the cell phone. And there's other things you can talk about while doing your hair and putting your fucking makeup on. Yeah, I want to listen to you with all the facts when you're a valley girl putting your eyeliner and makeup on and combing your hair. That means a shit to me how you look when you're giving me information. Alright, you talk. Oh, it's so smooth. I like jazz too, but fuck. I want to listen to something that's actually going to affect me. I want to hear it straight up. I don't want to hear it smooth. Tell me what the hell's going on. The information that we have right now is enough to indict government officials in the past administration for high crimes and treason. God knows what we'll find under oath when they have to testify. But we won't put them on trial. We won't pull the trigger. And the simple matter is, I alluded to it before, is that we won't pull the trigger because if we found out, if the American people found out all the information that they know about the deep state, there would be a revolution. It would be chaos because every government official who's actually even got a frickin' title would be a target. The National Guard couldn't help them. We believe, and what we're thinking is that the Marine Corps is actually put on high alert. Whether whoever spread that rumor, I don't know. But anyway, put on high alert. Well, if they are, guess what? The Marine Corps is there for one purpose. To keep these government officials from getting killed by the people. And make sure that they get to a trial. Because we don't want to have any kind of other system prove them guilty. We don't want to have vigilante justice. However, the fact is that these assholes do not get off their butts and start actually indicting and start doing something to people. And we start finding out and doing our own research and understanding if they're hiding it from us. And the reason why, people will start getting pissed. Well, I don't blame them. Because you get that sense in your stomach, and you get that sense in your mind. You know what? You've been lied to all this time. You have been lied to. Everyone that you have actually touched in your life who's dead, that has actually given you any advice you've come in contact with, they have lied to you. Maybe because they didn't know any better. But at some point in time, somebody should have stuck his hand up and said, who's right? Something's not right here. This doesn't feel right here. The first time we experienced, well, millennials maybe not, but the first time we experienced it as baby boomers was when JFK got shot. And then a short time after, his brother got shot. And then chain of possession, then his brother, Ted Kennedy, got removed from ever being able to hold office because it's called Chappaquiddick. That was all deep state operations. Hoover hated Kennedy, so he would do anything he could to actually jeopardize Kennedy's rise to the top, and he hated Bobby Kennedy even more because Bobby Kennedy was his rival. Bobby stood for civil rights. J. Edgar Hoover didn't. He wanted to remain the same. All that is just past history, but if you look at it, it gets actually come into frame to be the same. Those who claim to be awoke, and those who claim that say that the Matrix is gospel, well, do me a favor. Why don't you watch it? Why don't you take heed to what is actually really going on and apply the principles that you learn from those entities to what's going on today? There was a man named George Orwell wrote a book, 1984. It was a long time ago, back in the 50s, 60s. But he predicted what's happening in America from 1980s. It didn't really actually happen until the 1990s, but he's pretty much predicted or told you what was getting ready to happen. Was he the first person to reveal the deep state? Or some research, but you don't want to know what I think. There's a difference on reporting what you think and what you know. State of the concept of what you know. It's likely to do you no more good, because then you can stay on track. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Put it in a folder over there. You might need it later. So everybody's waiting for this doomsday scenario, when it's going to happen, when is the storm going to happen. Let me be the first one to tell you, 80% of the storm is going to be handled underneath underground channels, down where the deep state operate. We will never know the entire truth. 20% we will know. And out of that 20%, it'll all be delusions. To where we think, well, I'm pretty much sure, but I really don't know. Because we as human beings, we go off on diversions. And we waste time on bullshit instead of saying, you know what, okay, that's not getting me anywhere. Let me work on something else. Instead of pushing the narrative that you believe and it's not coming up your way, and you're saying, oh shit, I'll change it the way I want it to believe. Well, I'll change it. Change a word or two here. That'll be believable. I put you right in the goddamn same spot with the government. Just Comey come to mind, just change the document. That means somebody going to jail, somebody not. I challenge each and every one of you today, and I've challenged you in all my videos, because I don't want to get into your research. I don't want to confound your research with what you've proven, what you come up with, and I don't want to go through and fine-tooth it with a comb and saying where you're right and where you're wrong. Because the honest answer to that question is that nobody knows who's right now, because we don't have enough freaking evidence. And the simple matter of the fact is that Q's already said, for those of you who are getting impatient, he's still telling you, okay, hang with me as long as you can. Dangle that freaking carrot. As long as he can do that, he keeps your eye off the prize and he keeps you from watching the ball. And you're going to miss something. Something's going to slip. And then you're going to be doubting your own research. Going back 2 weeks and saying, what did I miss? What did I miss? I missed something. What did I miss? And there ain't no help from YouTube. I guarantee you that, because everybody's rushing to get the prize. Everybody's wanting to win the trophy to see who Q is. They don't give a shit about anything else. They could give a shit about the world. They just want to know who Q is. How many people do you know right now that's on the YouTube section so they would sell their soul to the devil, or they would put a price on what they would have to do to meet who Q is and to find out who Q is. How many ladies and gentlemen would actually give up everything that they have, or actually, sell their body, or not sell it, but, give up their bodies or their sex or whatever, just to find out who Q is? And when you find out who Q is, everybody won't have sex with him, but they want to be seen in pictures with him. They might take a picture with him because he's cute. There's not one person who has that much information by himself on the United States government. Any person that's put in that position, if the Q clearance either has it or not, put in that clearance or even considered for that position, does not have ultimate control. That individual only has access to certain information. Let me give you a case in point. If you're working around nuclear weapons and an alarm goes off and you need to reset that alarm, it takes 2 keys. It takes 2 keys to go and turn at the same time to actually turn that alarm off. It takes 2 keys to launch the vessel. So we see right there that the government does not trust one person with everything. It's divvy up around the organization. Have you ever seen or ever heard of special operators? Everybody's thinking about SEAL Team 6. Everybody's thinking about Deltas, thinking about Fast Company, whatever, man. Marine Corps snipers, shit, this goes on and on. Well, all those we know about. So guess what? They're not too damn secret, are they? There is a special group of people, like I said earlier this, that are designed to actually handle global situations with no ties to bind. They have no family. They have no friends. If you see these individuals by chance at a military base somewhere that they're actually landing for transport, they will never mix and mingle with anyone, not even their own selves. Because the fact is, they don't want to know what the other team's doing. Plausible deniability. Imagine if you get on the stand and somebody said, well, you know that team was going on? Never talked to them. Did you assume? I don't assume. That's not my job. So they keep you on the mission that they were actually at hand. So you can't give anybody else up. It's not possible. You never see who X, Y, and Z are. You never see the individuals who are pulling the strings. Think it can't happen? Or are you just too dumb to think about it, realize that it is? You're going to have oh shit moment. And I don't know when it's going to happen. But you're going to have oh shit moment when you realize that this thing is bigger than you possibly can imagine. Right now you're dwelling off on a little limb of the government, the Rothschilds, all these some bitches that really don't frickin' matter. But you ain't even got close to the fucking truth. When you do get there, you're going to say, oh shit. Or my favorite word, damn. Damn. Or you're also going to say maybe something else. Say, damn, I didn't see that coming. Or damn, is that really true? Am I reading this right? The possibilities are endless. The only restraints you have are the ones you put on yourself. Because at some point in time, you're going to have an oh shit moment. You say, I don't need to go any further. It's going to be that little voice inside your head that said, oh shit, this is going to get me in trouble. If they even knew what I knew, it's going to get me in trouble. So be careful. Don't go somewhere that you're not ready, prepared to go. This is not over with by this is just starting. This is the storm. We just can't see it. But what we have to do is we have to ensure that our government does their damn job and put these people behind bars so it doesn't happen again. We cannot let this type of corruption continue and them to get away with it, because it sets a precedence for all of our generations coming up behind us, and well, they got away with it. Or a different set of generation that comes up and say, where did they go wrong? Let's fix it so we don't get caught. People don't like the death penalty. In theory, the reason why the death penalty was involved is because the fact is it is a deterrent to you, to tell you if you do this particular heinous crime, you're going to die and we're going to kill you. It's a deterrent. Right now, currently, the United States government, we do not have any deterrence at all. A government official can do any damn thing they want to, and they can get away with it because we don't say a damn word. And it's happening right in front of you. Every day we see these indictments go through and there's nothing happening. Every hearing we have and nothing happens. Please tell me when the government's going to pull the trigger. We have nuclear weapons being armed at us and shot at us over our allies. They can hit New York at any time. Please tell me we're doing something about it. Basically what it is that the fact is that we got to put up or shut up. Right now is the time to actually put up or shut up. If we do not act right now and we do not move this corruption, if we do not do this right now, we can kiss our America goodbye. And a lot of places we already have. We're going to come one big sanctuary city. Holding a gun is illegal. And selling of arms on the black market is going to be damn profitable. Believe that. Who am I? I ain't nobody. How do I know? I don't know shit. You ask me? I don't know where I got it from. But it all comes down to you. What do you know? What do you think should happen? And why isn't it? What's the holdup? We have known about these crimes for at least 3 to 4 years, and we've done nothing about it. And all the while, we allow incidents to happen just to cover it up. At some point in there, we got to take the blame. Apathy can kill a nation quicker than anything else, even than being a divided nation. But apathy of a nation that doesn't want to do anything or doesn't raise a finger is just asking for trouble. Where are you on that?